wynebu y Drenewydd yn uwch gyngrair Cymru. A mae hwyl yr oel wedi cychwyn yn barod yn yr uwch gyngrair, a mae wedi cychwyn yn barod fan hyn ar Sgorio, achos mae'n benwythnos gwisgo siwm peri Nadolig, a hynny ar y cyd ag elusen achub y plant. Croeso mawr ato ni, a mae'n bleser cael cwmni Siôn Meredydd. Nawr, ti yn gwisgo siwmper Nadolig, ond mae'n o'r, so cadwa'r got na ymlaen.
Mae da fi un o dan y got fawr, ond fel ti'n gweud, mae bach yn o'r, felly fi'n mynd i cadw'r zip ma reit lan.
Ewn ni sydd mewn ati, Siôn, achos mae yna bosibilrwydd bod hon yn mynd i fod yn gêm ddiddorol iawn, achos y Drenewydd sydd wedi bod yn hedfan trwy'r tymor, maen nhw'n drydydd yn y gyngrair. Ond i ti'n cael y teimlad bod Aberystwyth ar waelodion y gyngrair, bod nhw'n dechrau ffindo'u trad nhw o'r diwedd?
Ydyn, ti'n bod, a dwi'n meddwl bod wedi cymeryd canlyniad fel geilon nhw erbyn y Seinti Newydd i rhoi hwb i nhw ar gyfer y tymor, a wedyn dilyn hwnna gyda triphwynt arall yn erbyn y Met. Ond maen nhw lan yn erbyn tîm arbennig o dda erbyn y Drenewydd. Dwi'n hoffi siap nhw, Walker a Hughes yn ganol cam pigol am popeth, a wedyn asgellwyr cyflym a Aaron Williams sydd wedi bod yn rhoi y goledd o'n nhw.
Gallu fod yn noson fysi. Mae'n benwythnos fysi o ran y gemau eraill sy'n mynd mlaen. Y gêm arall oedd fod heno, y Flint yn erbyn Caernarfon. Mae hwnna wedi cael ei ohirio oherwydd safon y ca, ond fe fydd y gêm yna'n cael ei chwarae nos Fawrth yn lle. Wedyn ni o ran gemau fori, yr un sy'n siŵr o fod yn sefyll mas yw'r Hwlffordd yn erbyn y Bala. Hwlffordd heb reolwr ar ôl i Wayne Jones ymddiswyddo penwythnos nesaf. A Siôn, o ran y tabl, ti'n edrych arno fe, mae pethau mor dyn, a gyda siwgyment o gemau i chwarae rhwng nawr ac yn ystod cyfnod yn y Nadolig, gall lot fawr o bethau newid.
Wel, hollol, mae yna 7 gêm nawr tan o hollt, a os edrychwn ni ar Aberystwyth er enghraifft, dwi'n ond 5 pwynt y gwanu nhw ar 6 ucha, felly mae'n hynod dyn. I fi y peth pwysig sydd angen i'r tîm ei wneud yw'r rhoi'r hediad at ei gilydd, rhoi'r hediad o 34 gêm lle dyn nhw ddim falle'n colli, ond ennill ambell i gêm. Dyna beth sy'n bwysig i'r clwbiau sydd yn y 6 gwaelod.
Yn bendant, a bydde triphwynt heno i Aberystwyth yn bendant yn enfawr, felly beth am i ni glywed gan rheolwr Aberystwyth, Antonio Corbisiero, sydd wedi bod yn siarad a Mike Davies.
Antonio, firstly, many congratulations on your November Manager of the Month award and John Owen's Player of the Month award. How confident are you of a derby double tonight against Newtown?
That would be the dream, wouldn't it? You know, no, like you say, we've come into the game full of confidence anyway after the way we finished against Connaskey in the second half. So we're going to go into the game hoping for 3 points.
In terms of Aber's Achilles heel, it is clear 2 wins in 8, only 4 goals at home. Is it becoming a psychological issue for your team?
I don't think so. I just think, you know, we've just been conceded at the wrong times maybe, you know, and then, you know, we haven't got ourselves back into it, or, you know, a lot of the games that we've been losing, we've lost late on. So I don't think it's a psychological thing. I just think that if we do go 1-0 behind, we just haven't managed to go get that equaliser or then get the equaliser and go and win the game. So, but no, the boys are still full of confidence no matter what happens, and you know we've got a good young squad there, and we'll look to take that into today's performance.
Newtown are scoring goals for fun. How do you cope this evening and nullify their forward?
Yeah, like we did that up there in the away game. You know, we beat them 2-1 at their place. We kept him quiet up there. Yeah, he's scoring goals, to be fair to him. But you know, the games that we've lost in, you know, we've only lost by 1 goal, apart from just the 2 of them. Where rightly so we deserve to lose by more. You know, we didn't perform them days, but no, we'll give it everything tonight, and then hopefully we'll come out victorious.
Antonio Corbisiero, diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr. Cheers.
Mae'r Drenewydd yn sgorio goliau, ond Siôn, wrth edrych ar record amddiffynol Aberystwyth, y trydydd record gorau yn y gyngrair eleni, a wrth ystyried bod yr amddiffyn mor ifanc, so maen nhw'n gwneud rhy ffôl.
Ie, mae hwnna'n impresif. Dylen ni wedi hefyd y gol geidwad, maen nhw wedi rwyddo y tymor hyn, Gregor, mae fe wedi bod ar dan i fi yn ystod y tymor. Ond ie, ti'n iawn, maen nhw'n ifanc, Lee Jenkins, Matthew Jones hefyd, bod e'n brofiadol dal yn gymarol ifanc. Ond maen nhw'n dysgu'r gorau. Maen nhw Stuart Jones fan hyn, un o cefnwyr gorau sydd wedi bod yn y gyngred, felly fi'n siŵr bod nhw'n dysgu tipyn oddi wrtho fe.
Wel, oedd Stuart yn gweud bod nhw fel sponges a bod nhw moyn dysgu, so yn sicr maen nhw'n neud hwnna, a mae wedi bod yn wythnos fysi i Aberystwyth. John Owen a Corbisiero yn ennill chwaraewr y mis a rheolwr y mis, ond llawn heiddiannol o hynny, Sean.
Ie, yn wedi gyda'r canlyniadau gelon nhw, fel wysonius yn ei erbyn y Seintiau Newydd. John Owen yn bwysig i fi i Aberystwyth, gath e anaf cas fan hyn yn erbyn Met Caerdydd, ond fi'n falch gweld yn ôl achos fi'n credu maen nhw'n dibynol ar y goliau.
A o ran perfformiadau Aberystwyth, fi'n credu mae'n eitha teg bod y cyfanswm o bwyntiau sydd gyda nhw ddim yn adlewyrchu'r perfformiadau.
Na, maen nhw wedi colli sawl gêm o un gol i ddim a ildio yn hwyr mewn sawl gêm, felly mae popeth wedi bod yn erbyn nhw. Maen nhw wedi bod yn digon hapus gyda'r perfformiadau, ond y ffaith syml amdani, y canlyniad yw'r peth bwysig.
Sean, diolch am dy gwmni. Na i adael ti fe'n achos i ti'n mynd lan i'r pwynt sylwebu, so cer i dwymo.
Sa'n gwybod, ydyn ni?
Mae'n mynd i fod yn dwymio lan fyna. Felly beth am un i glywed gan rheolwr y Drenewydd, Chris Hughes.
There's a real attacking intent about Newtown this season, and the front four are on fire.
Yeah, need to carry it on though, of course, because it's going to be tough tonight. But yeah, I think with the way we've set up this year in particular, and the players that we've got in the forward positions, they're certainly contributing. And what's important is the players behind them are pushing them as well, and that's been the case. So, we've got goals from all over the place, and we need that to carry on.
Aberystwyth's performances have improved of late, 7 points out of 12. Where are their dangers going to come from this evening?
I think the performances have been there all season from the games I've seen. They beat us at the start early on at Newtown, so we're well aware of the threats. Look, they're a young side, they're competitive, they're combative, they work hard. We'll have to match that tonight. We can't start the game in the same manner as we did last Saturday. We have to start the game in the same manner as we did the second half, and I think if we can get the second half performance and then add our quality to that, then I'm looking forward to the result.
Is this Newtown's best opportunity of a top two finish since you joined the club?
I think there's other clubs in the league who would look at that before us. I think for us it's just about putting as many points on the board as we can, getting to the split and then assessing it from there.
Chris Hughes, diolch yn fawr.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you, all the best. Cheers, mate.
Chris Hughes yn barod amdani, felly ac mae'n amser i ni fynd draw i'r tîmoedd sylwebu. It's time for us to join our commentary teams for this evening. Now, English language commentary is available with Pen-y-bont manager Rhys Griffiths, who's with Dyfan Powell, ac yn y Gymraeg, Sean Meredith, sy'n cadw cwmni i Mike Davies.
Diolch, Sioned. Cracer dolyg cynnar i chi heno yma'r goedlan y parc a gêm ddarbu'r canolbarth rhwng yr hen elin. Aberystwyth sy'n ddegfed, y Drenewydd yn drydydd, 2 dîm sydd wedi bod yn holl bresennol yn uwch gyngrau'r Cymru ers 1992. Yn cadw cwmni i fi yn y pwynt sylwebu, Sean Meredith. Pwy sy'n mynd i fynd â hon, Sean?
Cwestiwn da, Mike. Mae'n mynd o'n agos, ti'n meddwl. Y ddoi dîm o chwarae pêl-droed da ar hyn o bryd. Drenewydd, fel ni'n gwybod, yn yr hanner ucha, yn y trydydd safle. Falle bach fwy o momentum gyda nhw, ond mae Aberystwyth yn ddiweddar wedi rhoi canlyniadau at y gilydd. Yn ywedig erbyn y Seintiau Newydd a Met Caerdydd.
Ie, wir. Fe welwch chi y Drenewydd yn gwisgo i crysau melyn anarferol i'r Robiniaid. Felly o ran y tîmau heno, o ran Aberystwyth, Antonio Corbisiero, rheolwr y mis o gyfer mis Tachwedd, neu 2 newid o'r tîm gollodd yma yn erbyn y pencampwyr Cei Conan o sy'n edrych Alex Darlington a Jonathan Evans yn lle Rhys Davies a Harry Franklin sydd wedi wahardd. Dim sioc bod dim newid yn hym o'r Robiniaid.
And for Newtown, that attack is pretty potent this year, isn't it?
Yeah, well, again, talking about if there was a team of the year done today, Moandui would be in it for me, 100%. He's been excellent so far. And then they've got some experience there as well.
Aaron Williams has been banging them in, as they say, 11 goals already this year.
Yeah, he's come in. Obviously, they've qualified for Europe and they've had a bit of spending power from that. They've brought him in and he has done well. He knows his way around the pitch. Doesn't do anything, he doesn't sort of stand out when you're watching them play, but he does everything well. So he's a good player.
There is Aaron Williams, the leading scorer for Newtown and one of the league's top scorers. And John Owen before that for Aberystwyth. 2 goals this year. Strangely, their top scorer with 2 goals in the league.
Yeah, well, just speaking to Stuart Jones, one of the coaches here at Aber, goals is where they've struggled so far. Obviously, you've alluded to their defensive prowess, and you're not in the sort of bottom half of the table if you've got that defensive prowess, if you're scoring goals as well. So, but John's been injured, and probably that's the biggest reason for that.
Yeah, well, Richard Harrington, the referee, seems to be satisfied, as both teams in their entirety take the knee. And away we go in West Wales, and straight away in the yellow, playing from left to right. Newtown start with that long ball, and it's towards that big man Williams up front early on. And there's Rushton. And there's the threat of straight away, isn't it? It's not just Williams, the big man up front, but it's Rushton just behind him.
Yeah, he's a strong player as well, physically strong, and they've got a long throw, I think, so I'd imagine this is going to go straight into the box with Mills Evans on his way up.
Craig Williams, the evergreen Craig Williams, playing right back for Newtown. He's preparing to whip this free kick in. There are quite a few men in yellow waiting for the delivery. Very early chance. In it comes, and the defence does its job for now. And it's George Hughes throwing it back in, but as we've come to expect this season, the men in green are quite well organised at the back. And perhaps an early chance, a ball over the top. Phillips is chasing, and a very, very calm Dave Jones in the net for Newtown, dealing with that.
Yeah, it was calm there. I'd imagine Chris Hughes had his heart in his mouth for a second there, but very calm from the keeper.
A pretty simple ball, but they're always quite effective, especially when you've got someone with the pace of Phillips. Quite a few pacey players in the Aberystwyth lineup this evening. Jonathan Evans over on the other wing. Here's Darlington though, to the feet of Phillips, who spreads it out to Evans. Good movement by Rimmer. And the move breaks down, but yeah, there are good options on those wings, aren't there? Good pace.
Yeah, I've already said that Jack Rimmer's a very good runner, and he's obviously getting on the overlap there, and they'd be a bit disappointed they didn't make more of that.
There's Mills Evans, a permanent fixture in the Newtown defence for many years by now. Jones will likely let this go. He does. Rushton and Williams. Williams wins. There is a free kick. Darlington standing over it. You probably remember Darlington, over 100 goals, almost 100 goals for the New Saints. Over 100 goals in his Welsh Premier League career. Oh, and there's a good ball, and this has released a powerful attack. And it's the Newtown ball into the middle, and it's Rushton to collect. And slips one past the Aberystwyth defence. There are question marks, but that's a lightning counter-attack from Newtown.
Yeah, I think Aberystwyth have given the ball away in the midfield, and they probably overcommitted men forward. And obviously at the end there, I think it was 3 versus 1, was it?
It's James Davis who's released. And that pace that James Davis has, well, no one's catching him, and there are plenty of options in the middle. That's Rushton and Mwandwe waiting for that. It's Rushton who collects.
I noticed it, earlier on that the Aber defence were a little bit slow coming out, and I'm not sure whether it would have made a difference, but Rimmer was certainly a lot deeper than everyone else there.
Well, that's the real strength, isn't it? In switching from defence to attack, that pace, Mwandua is on one side, James Davis on the other. So many options on the attack, and, well, not even a warning this evening. Straight away into the back of the net, and the visitors 1-0 up with just a few minutes played.
Really important now that Aberystwyth just calm down, just stay in the game, and just sort of collect themselves a little bit. Last thing they need is a second goal going in quick succession.
Rimmer collects on the wing. He's looking for John Owen. Rushton's 6th goal of the season. He's created quite a few as well. He plays a very important role just behind the strikers. Very difficult for defenders, I would imagine.
Yeah, as the ball came across, you had Williams, Rushton and Mwandua waiting. It was always going to go in.
Thorne can throw these deep. It's into the penalty area. Half a chance from distance. Oh, and not a bad shot either from Matty Jones. Danger hasn't passed. There were a couple of deflections, I fancy, and back off the upright, and almost hitting back straight away. Jack Thorne, the young captain, immediately trying to help his team back into this side. Here's the long throw once more. Ball loose in the box, and Dave Jones will smother that. And Aberystwyth, well, they are determined to fight it back as soon as possible.
Obviously the ball's dropped to the edge of the box. We know that Matthew Jones got great ability. I think it's taken a nick on the way through, and the keeper was beaten.
7 goals in all competitions, Matty Jones, but just the one in the league. He's a set-piece specialist, and he can hit those from distance. And it's a warning sign for Newtown. There's a bit of wind around as well, isn't there, Rhys?
Yeah, it's really windy. I've got the biggest coat on I could possibly find, and it is windy. Very cold night, and it's been raining intermittently as well.
Williams with the throw, and Louis Bradford will shepherd that out. I noticed, however, you didn't fancy the Christmas jumper.
No, I thought about the Christmas jumper idea for about half a second, then decided that I'm not doing that.
Williams again over the top. It's Zabret who's come all the way out to deal with that. He does have that in his game, doesn't he? He does like to come out and command beyond that, just the penalty area.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and he's he started very well for Aberystwyth.
Former Swansea City academy player. He's been one of the stars this year of the league, not just of Aberystwyth. Here's the long throw into the middle. Dealt with for now. Another chance for Williams, maybe. Phillips working hard, and he'll collect this as well and keep it in. Mills Evans misses out, and again you can see that wind holding the ball up, and that might just be a bit of a headache for a couple of players this evening.
Yeah, I think the thing with the wind, as strong as it is sometimes Aberystwyth might feel like it's going to be a real benefit to them, but as we saw then, if they're probably better off getting the ball down and trying to play, because it'll just keep running through, and Newtown will be happy to let them play long.
Dave Jones launches another one into that strong headwind. Matty Jones then with the throw in. We're talking about the youth of the Aberystwyth backline. Matty Jones there, 22, but already over 100 games for the club. So they are young, but they're very experienced backline, and sticking with them for 3-4 years, it's starting to pay off. One of the strongest defences in the league. Rushton over the top, looking to collect, and does. Not much support. And it's shepherded out.
Yeah, they're a young backline, but the Aberystwyth coaching staff are managing to mould them into what they want, and they are doing a good job with them. As we've said, their defensive record is very good this season, and they're working hard for their manager. Yeah,
just the 17 goals conceded. A little over 1 goal a game, which is pretty impressive, especially considering that we don't normally associate tight defences with Aberystwyth over the past few years. Phillips looking to collect, doesn't. It's the other end of the pitch is the problem for Aberystwyth this year. Just the 9 goals this year. Just 4 goals at home as well.
Yeah, as we said, Johnny Owen's been injured quite a bit. He's shown in the last few weeks that he is capable of scoring goals. A couple of balls gone to him in the air there that he's not really gone for. So I think that's something he needs to get together so Aber can get out of their half.
Jenkins climbing high and fouled while doing so. There is the young centre-back.
Yeah, a bit like one of his coaches, Stuart Jones, got a very good leap on him, and there was a brave one there as well.
Yeah, the coaching team here, Antonio Corbisiero, of course, but also Stuart Jones, Barry Morgan and Gary Lloyd. Played with quite a few of those, haven't you? You know them quite well.
Yeah, I played with Corbisiero, of course, and Stuart Jones, roommates with Stuart Jones for many years. Great lads.
Newtown should deal with this and do shepherd it out. There's Matty Jones with the ball up. There's John Owen. That's what he can do, not just score goals, but he's always looking to bring other players in. It seems to me then that, well, Aberystwyth don't seem to be that affected by the goal.
No, look, I think the main thing is they consolidate and they didn't concede straight away. I was speaking to Antonio Corbisiero before the game, and we were saying it's really important that they stay in the game as long as they can. And, you know, let's be honest, I think Aber would probably take a draw to sort of keep their momentum going.
Davis. Rushton wants it ahead. He won't get it. Walker in the midfield for Newtown. And this ball almost came to Williams. Louis Bradford, the Aberystwyth centre-back, is there just in the nick of time. And Aberystwyth escape, or try to escape, and do in the end. Once again, just a little mistake maybe, almost letting through the Newtown strikers, and they're always looking to pounce.
Yeah, the shape of Newtown with the 2 holding midfielders, Walker and Hughes, means that switching the ball is difficult, and they were trying to switch the ball there. Jack Rimmer started to go in the right back position, and there was 2 players to get beyond, and they cut it out, and that's the danger for Aber. They've got to be careful not to overcommit, particularly their fullbacks.
No immediate rush for Newtown. They seem to be satisfied with how things are going at the moment. As Jack Thorne flicks one ahead. Phillips is the target. There's Jack Thorne, the young captain, again coming up to take these long throws. Louis Bradford, the centre-back, has joined those attackers, and you see Rimmer will throw this into the box. He does. Bradford is up there. Evans keeps it in. As Davis tries to clear the ball. Hasn't gone very far. Another half chance for Aberystwyth, but here's a chance now for the visitors, and it's Davis on the counter-attack again. Rushton in the middle waiting. And Rimmer's there to collect. Well, the easiest of interceptions. Aberystwyth tried to break with John Owen on the left. Here's Jamie Veal. And again, John Owen trying to find some support. As Rushton and Newtown finally bring the ball out, but another golden chance really, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, Aber overcommitting a little bit, and obviously Antonio's got his...
And there's another long cross-field ball. Mwandua is the target this time, that pace again. Aberystwyth defence having trouble. Mwandua keeps going. Has some support. Mwandua can't go very far. And Jones to bring that forward for Aberystwyth. It's an impressive bit of skill, but it hasn't really amounted to much. But again, that pace on the counter-attack for Newtown, so dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, just saying again, Antonio's obviously got the way he wants his team to play, but at the moment I would just be keeping full-backs in, maybe keeping 2 holding midfielders in, and just steady the game a little bit. And if Aber come back and get something out of this game, I think Newtown will look back at that, because that was as good a chance as the goal.
James Davis again at the heart of things, just seems to find some space, and off he goes. No one seems to be able to catch him. Is that the job of the fullback then, just to stay back and keep him in front? Is it?
Well, there's several ways you could do it. You could play with, push your fullbacks on and play with 2 holding and try and create kind of a 4 sitting in a box, if you like. But James Davis is playing a bit deeper as well, and then running onto things, which is causing a problem.
Williams to the other Williams, Craig this time. And the chance gone.
Yeah, I think he's playing in between as well, so no one's really sure who's picking him up, and then by the time the ball comes through, he's already on the run, and he's a fast player, as we know.
Those are the eyes of Rhys Griffiths, someone who does know what he's talking about. For just a layman like myself, it just looks like Davis just appears with tremendous pace. Very exciting. And Mwandue on the left, Rushton in the middle as well. Such a potent front line for Newtown. It's why they're 3rd in the league, and it's why they're probably, well, at the moment anyway, heading for their highest finish for some time. Just behind them, of course, is Penabont, just a couple of points. There's Jones and Jack Thorne. Jenkins. Bradford has his head up, looking for that long ball maybe. Mwandue looks to try and get onto this. Time for a little breather, I think.
Yeah, obviously Aber keeping a little bit of possession at the back at the moment. The ball went up to Johnny Owen there, and he tried to play with 1 touch, and I think probably, particularly at this point in the game, 2 touches the order, because Aber need to keep possession, and it was given away cheaply there. Newtown almost broke again.
Rimmer throws a long ball. John Owen's got it. Trying to release John Evans. Evans slips one, almost past Dave Jones. But somehow an arm, a chest, a leg, something kept that ball from slipping into the net. Evans, such a difficult player to get hold of.
Well, that was right on cue from Johnny Owen there. He took the 2 touches, and it was a harder ball to control with 2 touches than the first one I mentioned a second ago. And obviously Johnny went through, Johnny Evans, and tried to slide under the keeper.
Well, that's probably Aberystwyth's best chance of the half. All coming from a quick ball from Jack Rimmer, the right back, and John Owen listening very carefully to Rhys Griffiths' advice. A couple of touches. This is an awkward one for the Aberystwyth defence. It's still awkward. Here's Williams trying to feed Rushton. He's tried to lift that and has lifted it over the keeper's head. It's 2. The visitors have some daylight. Rushton again.
Well, that's the fine margins in sport, isn't it? We've gone down one end. We've had the best chance of the game for them, and then straight away it's 2-0.
It's a ball over the top, and it's an awkward one. Possibly the wind holding it, I'm not sure. But there's Williams in the middle of it, James Davis, and Rushton to finish with. Well, that's a delicate chip, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the wind did play a factor there, but the defender for Aber there, you can't let the ball bounce. It's a long-used cliche, isn't it?
We've been celebrating their defence for the first 15-20 minutes, and well, they've let 2 in already. There's Aberystwyth look to get things going again with those long balls. Wind behind them. Here's Veal. John Owen battling away. Veal is ahead of him. Thorne with the flick. Here's Matty Jones. He's got John Owen down the line. And that's definitely advantage Newtown. This is going to be quite a battle for Aberystwyth to get anything from this now.
Yeah, it's two excellent finishes as well from Rushton. The first one, you'd say, you'd expect him to score it, but it was still firm connection, a good finish, and that was a really deft touch. There wasn't a lot of room for error there. It was a really good finish.
And I just wonder if Aberystwyth are going to have to attack and throw men forwards. Well, that's just going to play into Newtown's hands, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's too early for that. I think they just need to be a bit more solid at the moment and just try and get their foot on the ball, play into Johnny. He started to get hold of the ball now. And see if they can nick one back before half-time, perhaps.
Yep, it is wrap-up weather. And it's hot drink weather as well. Dave Jones with the long ball. Mwandua is the target. Just a slight infringement. There's James Davis at the heart of both moves, both goals, and almost a third as well. He's been on form tonight.
Yeah, and they've got Jordan Evans in the squad as well, and they've moved around. Sometimes Rushton's been out the team, sometimes Davis has been out the team. Got good options.
There's Craig Williams. Tries to fire one down the wing. That wind has taken that ball again. It's difficult. Jones deals with it. Williams will take his time. Davis is an option. Rushton is close by. And there's Mwandua. Oh, he's passed. Well, he was past Veal, and pretty cynical foot out there, bringing the fast winger down.
Yeah, that was half a good yellow for your team and half frustration, I think.
There's a stat for you. Newtown players have been fouled over 150 times this year. A third of those fouls committed on that man there, Mwandua. Over 50 times he's been brought down.
Yeah, he's a tricky player. Sometimes when he's played against us, I'd want to bring him down myself, to be honest with you. But just going back to that move there, Craig Williams, there's always something with his throw-ins. He's always looking for something a bit different. And he obviously threw straight into the middle of the park there for the opposite winger.
Craig Williams can take a free kick as well. He's one of the three players lining up here. Jake Walker's there, George Hughes is there as well. All three of these can... Well, looks like it's going to be Williams from distance against the wind. Into the wall, second chance. Straight down Zabret's throat.
Yeah, good connection with the second attempt, but takes something to beat the keeper from there.
Straight into the wall. It's a sweet shot on the second time of asking. Craig Williams will be 34 in a couple of weeks. He doesn't look it, and well, he's been evergreen, and he's been a phenomenal servant for Newtown over the years.
He's a spring chicken.
There's another long throw into the box. Jenkins tries to do something with it. For the time being, Newtown escape. And boy, do they escape with Mwandua and his pace down the right. Again, the yellow shirts stream into the box. It's Mwandua! Fancied going by himself, and it almost came off.
Yeah, very direct. He showed him the outside, which is what the defender should do. There were options in the middle again, but he obviously went very close. But I think Rushton was in the middle for his hat-trick as well. At the moment, it looks to me as if we talked about the breaks that Newtown are having, but they also look like that they've got the legs. They've got a lot of pace in the team, and Aber struggling to cope with that.
The wind's picking up, the rain is picking up as well, and that might make it even trickier for those players out there. There's another chance for one of those long throws into the box for the home side. Jack Thorne is preparing. Centre backs have gone up. John Owen is there. In it comes, caught by the wind a little bit. Mills Evans climbs and is fouled. And Well, the rain really is coming down. Not sure if you can see that on the screen just yet. I can promise you it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hammering down. It's an obvious thing to say, but the next goal will be absolutely key in this game.
Well, plenty here in West Wales, willing to brave that weather. That battle in midfield continues. It's a good ball, trying to release John Owen, but again, maybe that wind just taking it a bit far.
It looked for a second there as if it was a really good ball, but it just ran through with the wind and the rain, kicking up off the pitch.
This is Jones to restart things, another long ball. James Davis looks to get to it. Easily dealt with for the defence. When you come to these matches, Rhys, do you have time to enjoy, to maybe sit back, or are you always working, always taking notes, always looking at these players?
Oh, I think it was said to me years ago when I started coaching that you start to look at the game in a different way, and I certainly don't look at it, with complete sort of as a fan anymore, a fan of the game. But I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
Pêl-droed just 2 points behind Newtown, so at the moment looks likely you'll be playing them a couple of more times later on this season, if once that's split and you're in that top 6.
Well, there's a long way to go before the split, and we're certainly not counting our chickens that we're in the top 6 at all. There's a long way to go, but at the same time, if we keep nicking results, obviously a good win last week, the games are running out for other teams to catch us and get into the top 6. So we're just working hard one game at a time.
It's a tremendous achievement. Kevin Drenewydd tomorrow. Confident. They not the best of seasons for the Drenewyds, just the 2 draws, but always a banana skin, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a very difficult game for us to approach because everyone expects us to win. We're at home against bottom of the league and they haven't won yet. So, but at the same time, last year they came to us and they equalised in the last minute. And we also lost to Flint last year at home and we were expected to win. Obviously Flint have kicked on a lot since then. So the main thing for us is that we're really honest.
Rimmer is preparing to throw another long ball. Maybe make the most of this wind, which has just died a little bit. See that ball still moving. Mills Evans with the header. Thorne throws one back in. Evans tries to get to it.
Just noticing that when Aber are going forward, Rimmer's staying back, but he's staying on the one side of the pitch. If he's going to stay back, probably needs to centre up a little bit so he can sweep along the back. Because at the moment he's playing everybody on the right side of the Newtown attack.
Thorne prepares for another throw into the box. Bradford is there, perhaps colliding with his centre-back part. Jack Thorne is always a weapon for Aberystwyth, those long throws.
Yeah, just Lee Jenkins there couldn't quite direct the header. His centre-half partner coming in as well, probably put him off a little bit.
Jones with the goal kick again, caught up in the wind. Jenkins clears. Rimmer battles away with Mwandwe. And Phillips wins a free kick. And maybe another chance for one of those long balls up towards John Owen.
The long ball forward. Long ball forward a second ago into Williams for Newtown, and he was able to pin the centre-back. I think maybe they need to pull Darlington onto his toes to stop him doing that.
Rimmer in. Jenkins up, can't win it. Veal with a chance on the side of the box. Well, he's gone down. There was definitely contact. Nothing too malicious for the referee, Richard Harrington. So Mwandwe and Newtown come away. Phillips with the tackle. Maybe a chance for a counter-attack. Veal tries to re-release Phillips. And it's Mills-Evans across. Jamie Veal took a heavy contact.
Would have been a harsh, if he was in the box, would have been a harsh penalty, but I would have been appealing for it.
Thorne prepares, and in it comes. Chance again for Thorne.
These long throws at the moment seem to be their most potent weapon. Maybe if they are going to get back in the game, it's going to come from one of these.
Well, the two centre-backs are up again. Here is Jenkins, one of those. Phillips is there as well. Ball bouncing away. And Mwandwe, here he is. There's the pace. And again, look at those yellow shirts stream forward. Here's Rushton in the middle. He has Davis on the outside. It's a good tackle from Rimmer. He was perhaps caught out with the pace, but he made up for it. And he's hurt himself in doing it.
Yeah, it's great pace to get back, but again, it's only so many times a game you can rely on that pace. Aberystwyth need to sort out the defensive shape.
Rimmer seems to be hurt. He is down, but there's, well, any one of those forward players, Rushton, Mwandwe and Davis, they've all got the pace to outrun defence. It's a risky game, isn't it?
I wonder whether at some point, and maybe even using this interval or this little break as the opportunity, whether Aberystwyth will go to a 3 at the back and give them a bit more cover, and knowing that they started the game against Connah's Quay and Cardiff Met the week before, I think, with a back 3, so that might be something they look to do.
Well, there's certainly some lengthy conversations going on by the Aberystwyth bench. Corbisiero is out. Seems to be talking mainly to his forwards. Chris Hughes out as well, the Newtown manager, taking advantage of the stop in play.
One thing's for certain, we've discussed the pace that Newtown have and the problems it's causing Aberystwyth. The quickest player in the back line, if not the team for Aber, is Jack Rimmer. And if he's in trouble, then I think Aber will really miss him. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, he's just hobbling off for a bit. No movement on the bench yet, which suggests that he's going to stay on at least for a little while. Half an hour gone, 2-0 down. What's the game plan? Is it just to make it to half-time, keep the score as it is?
I think they've got to keep it tight and work hard, treat it as if it's 0-0 and work hard to get the next goal, because the game could literally turn on its head if Newtown score next. Aberystwyth score next.
Another long ball. Evans is there. John Owen is there, but there's a foul.
One thing's for certain, if they concede next, it's almost game over, isn't it? So that can't happen. At the moment, it looks more likely that Newtown will get a third on the break than perhaps it does Aber getting the first.
Aberystwyth have struggled to score this year, just the 4 goals at home, 9 goals through the season. So you imagine that scoring 3 in one night is going to be quite an ask. Dave Jones, the Newtown goalkeeper, happy to restart things again into the wind. It'll hold up. Williams into the middle. Rushton's waiting for it. There's Davis as well. There's another. Again, Newtown keep the ball. And decide to come over the other side. Here's Craig Williams. There's Rushton ahead of him. Davis wants it to feet. Plenty of options. It's a ball in the air towards Williams. Rushton again. Williams. Newtown come again. Here's Callum Roberts. Haven't seen too much of him. An exciting fullback. He's been content to stay relatively defensive this evening. He's got plenty of pace ahead of him. Hasn't been needed that much in the attack. Here's Williams again. To feet this time. towards Williams, who does well. Walker, options wide left. Again, plenty of options in the middle as well. Well, Roberts has gone on the overlap. He's hit the turf quite dramatically.
Yeah, he's got that in his locker. Didn't look like a penalty to me. I thought he went down a little bit easy there.
I think that's the first time we've seen Roberts really venture forward on that left-hand side. Of course, he's not been needed, but he's got that as well, isn't he?
It looks to me as well as if Orford, I think it's Orford's come on for Aber at right back, so Jack Rimmer's night's over.
Well, it's going to be a blow for Aberystwyth. Orford came in against the New Saints a couple of weeks ago and did a fantastic job, kept a clean sheet, or played a part in that clean sheet against the league leaders. But rearranging things at the back is rarely a good sign. A forced change, I assume, with the injury a few minutes ago to Rimmer. Jones again with the long ball in. Williams. Zabret. Looking for John Owen. Easy for Brett Taylor. Here's Rushton. Possibly to turn, he's got some support. There's Roberts forward. Davies can't quite get hold of it. But the pressure's still there on that Aberystwyth defence.
Newtown are winning a lot of first balls at the moment at both ends of the pitch, particularly causing a problem for Aberystwyth. Aaron Williams winning a lot of headers.
Well, Newtown preparing for a long throw into the box. And there are a couple of bodies falling over it. And another ball into the box, but nothing can't quite penetrate that. Centre-back pairing of Lee Jenkins and Louis Bradford seem to be happy with the ball in the air towards them. It's that pace behind them that's caused problems this evening. There is Orford, the substitute. Down the line towards Evans. Crowd of players battling for that one. Bradford misses out. Davis, it's a wild challenge. Play on, says the ref, and Moandua will try and take advantage, but the referee's brought that back for something, well, quite a wild challenge, I think.
Yeah, Bradford made the first error, and then Lee Jenkins came flying out then, and
here is Jenkins.
I don't think it was certainly a foul, probably a yellow, no more than that.
Again, a couple of slip-ups at the back. There's no room to make mistakes against this attack.
Bradford's holding his face a lot at the moment. I don't know whether he's had a clash of heads, but he needs to shake that off. His team need him at the moment. They need to solidify at the back, and Johnny Owen as well needs to get into the game a bit more up front.
Jenkins with the challenge, bringing James Davis down. Well, another chance for Newtown. 7 or 8 minutes left. It's going to be another ball into the box, I assume, by the dead ball expert Craig Williams. Referee Richard Harrington. Just marking up. Not much of a wall, but it's not that kind of free kick. Brett Taylor, the centre-back, and Kieran Mills-Evans, the other centre-back, have both come up. And indeed, there is Brett Taylor, receiving a bit of a talking to.
As we're approaching half-time, just trying to think of where Aber can get some belief and confidence from. And speaking to Antonio before the game, last week's game against Connors Key was just like this, in that they were under a lot of pressure first half.
It's a cheeky little free kick to the feet of Williams. It's back out to Craig Williams from distance, trying to create something, always looking for something different. Here's the ball into the box, James Davis waiting. Again back in, Hughes this time. Aberystwyth escape for now.
Yeah, just saying then that last week's game, Aberystwyth were lucky to go in 1-0 down at half-time against Connah's Quay. The second half had the complete half to themselves, from what I understand. So hopefully they can take some confidence and belief from that going into the second half.
Yeah, things really did change at the break there. Alex Darlington came on in the second half as well, and the game seemed to change with his presence, even though he's playing a very different kind of role to what we're used to seeing. He sits maybe a bit deeper and plays a more defensive role. But yeah, I know that the home fans here were quite aggrieved at a couple of the decisions as well, and felt that maybe they deserved to get something from the game last week. It would have capped off quite the run for Aberystwyth as well, having beaten the New Saints 2 weeks previous, and Cardiff met the previous week as well. There's another one of those balls behind the defence. Jenkins is back. And just to confirm what you were saying earlier, Reece, the 2 wins in those 2 games there, all thanks to goals from John Owen, and just shows how important he is for the home side.
Yeah, 100%. He's an important player, and he's having some decent moments in the game. I think they probably want him to be in the game a little bit more than he is.
Player of the month for November, of course.
A couple of Penabon players robbed there, in my opinion.
Bradford is back to cover. And the Aberystwyth manager, Corbisiero, was manager of the month, so a double for Aberystwyth. Shows you that they are in a bit of form at the moment, even though their league position doesn't quite reflect maybe that success of the month of November. Here's Phillips, looking for options ahead of him. Taylor happy to use his goalkeeper.
Yeah, just going back to the player and manager of the month. Obviously I haven't seen Johnny Owen play a lot this month, but certainly Antonio deserved it for that win, in particular against TNS.
Zabret, the goalkeeper, very, very coolly uses his centre-back Jenkins, who perhaps not quite as cool, decides it's got to go down the other side. A few minutes left, perhaps a chance for a couple of attacks. The wind is picking up again behind Aberystwyth. Jones can't find John Owen. Williams battling and fouling. There's Orford. Zabret lets one go towards John Owen. Ball is getting taken by the wind. It's difficult to judge. Newtown midfield tried to take hold of it. Here is Jake Walker. There is Antonio Corbisiero. Mills Evans clears. Mwandue into the middle, no one there. Bradford clears. It's a good ball across field. Here's Craig Williams with a bit of space ahead of him. And he's done well to beat Phillips. He's done better to get a ball into the box. And Williams couldn't quite get there, maybe a touch behind him. I don't know if the wind played a role there.
Yeah, it's a really good ball in from Craig Williams. First time, but it was just that couple of inches behind Aaron Williams.
Yeah, 2 Williamses, Aaron and Craig. Craig is the fullback, and Craig is the man showing his skills here. Here come Newtown again. Williams to Rushton. Chance to run at the defence. He's still going. He's got options. Davis this time couldn't quite do anything. Here's Rushton again. 2 goals already this evening. Mills-Evans throws one into the box towards Aaron Williams. Roberts. Williams is offside. Just a minute left. Just in time as this wind and the rain picks up for us all to start running for shelter, I think. Mills-Evans with the header. There's Darlington. Not mentioned Darlington's name too often this evening. Owen turns. Can't quite get away from the defence. Jones tries to keep it in. There's Matty Jones, whose brother also plays for Aberystwyth. Came on for his debut a couple of weeks ago against the New Saints. A couple of local boys. Indeed, Aberystwyth do put a bit of, well, they do value their local boys. Jack Rimmer, Lee Jenkins, go through the squad. Johnny Evans. And there's Williams taking advantage and really taking advantage to free up Davis into the middle, and somehow splits his attackers.
Rash clearance from Aber. Obviously a fortunate deflection then for Newtown, and if that had gone in, it would have been game over. So that's another moment that possibly Newtown could live to regret. Could easily be 4 or 5, to be honest with you.
Well, the danger's not over, and James Davis has been at the heart of everything as well.
He's a very busy player.
Newtown still attacking. Here's the long throw. Taylor is in there with a flick, and the ball across the face of the goal, hooked away by Jack Thorne. There's Mwandue. Happy to bring it back. Here's George Hughes into the middle. Ball not cleared. Mwandue loses this time. Loses possession. Taylor does well. Jake Walker forward. And there is a foul, there's a push. Aaron Williams isn't happy, he wants a bit of advantage. And Newtown are always looking to attack, aren't they? They're not resting, even though we're into these couple of minutes added at the end of the first half.
Yeah, just keep doing what's working, I suppose. But a minute ago, Aber had what looked like was going to be an opportunity to counter-attack, and I think that was a moment in which they missed probably Franklin in that sort of number 10 area, where Thorne probably is not that type of player.
There might be some time for this free kick. If not, either way, really, it's job done for Newtown in this first half. 2 goals for Nick Rushton. They're looking quite comfortable and very dangerous on the counter-attack. Here is the ball into the middle. And that is the final whistle for the first half. Job well done for the visitors. And they will go back and take some shelter from this wind and the rain. Very satisfied, and that man in particular very satisfied with a brace, and will no doubt look for his hat-trick in this second half. Do come back and join us here at Park Avenue.
Os i chi fel ni yn ffili stopo siarad am Pêl-droed yna pidwch a phoeni. Mae llawer mwy o gynnwys sgorio ar gael yn ddigidol.
Ar bodlediad wythnosol Sgorio, byddai Sioned Dafydd yn trafod unrhyw beth a phopeth sy'n ymwneud â Pêl-droed yng Nghymru. Bydd ambell i seren yn ymuno yn y sgwrs hefyd, y cenedlaethol a'r lleol Cwpan Cymru i Gwpan y Byd. Mae'r cyfan yn cael sylw dyn ni ar pod Sgorio. Chwiliwch a thanysgrifiwch i dderbyn y podlediad diweddara.
Yn
ogystal â hynny, byddai'n tar y golwg manylach ar gamper merched, ac hynny yng nghwmni Gwenan Harris ar y fodlediad sydd ar gael ar Facebook a YouTube. Chwiliwch am Gwenan a Sioned yn siarad ffwtbol.
Ac wrth gwrs, gallwch chi weld y cicio, taclo a phob gol o uwch gyngor Cymru ar ein gwefannau cymdeithasol, gyda chlipiau a uchelbwyntiau cyson ar gael ar-lein. Chwiliwch am Sgorio a mwynhewch yr arlwy o Pêl-droed sydd gan Gymru i'w gynnig.
Croeso nôl ato ni ar Drenewydd sydd ar y blaen o 2 gôl i ddim fan hyn ar goedlan y parc. Siôn Meredith sy'n cadw cwmni i fi a Siôn, Aberystwyth i cael un anodd hyd yn hyn yn yr hanner gyntaf yna.
Ie, mae'r ymodau wedi bod yn anodd hefyd. Fi'n gwybod bod yn mantis chwarae gyda'r gwynt, ond hefyd mae fe'n anfantes achos mae yn mor gryf lawr fan hyn ar goedlan y parc. Ond y Drenewydd, mae rhaid rhoi clod iddyn nhw hefyd. Mae nhw wedi chwarae'n arbennig yn ystod yr hanner cyntaf. Camgymeriadau gyda Aberystwyth. Dath i'r gôl Darlington fan hyn. Cymeryd gormod o amser yn ganol ca. A wedyn the Fab 3 fel petai, lan top. Yn neud yn arbennig gyda Rushton yn hawdd i fenni ar y diwedd o James Davies yn neud y gwaith caled, y gwaith caib ar haw, sgwaroi a mae Rushton yn y man a lle.
A Siôn, hwnna'n enghraifft berffaith o pan mor dingerus mae'r Drenewydd yn gallu bod yn gwrthymosod.
Wel, dyn nhw'n rhoi amser i ti. Sim amser i feddwl rhyweithiau, a Darlington oedd ar bai yn cymeryd un touch yn gormod, a maen nhw wedi bod yn glinigol yn ystod yr hanner cyntaf.
Ti di sôn am y gwynt, mae'r ymodau'n anodd iawn. Dy'r ail gôl, oedd e'n edrych fel o bosib bod y gwynt di chwarae ran yn y gôl o bosib, Siôn?
Oedd amser wedi stopi am funud, achos... ond eto, camgymeriad fan hyn gyda Aberystwyth, y Drenewydd yn glinigol, yn creu y cyfle, Rushton fyna yn lwpo i rown. A fi credu bod Rushton yn meddwl bod hon yn mynd dros y bar. A i ryw raddau, fi'n credu bod Gregor yn y gôl hefyd yn meddwl bod hi'n mynd drosto. Ond mae jyst yn dipo eto achos y gwynt, dwi'n meddwl. A i fod yn dig, y Drenewydd yn ei ddaniol fod 2 gôl i flaen.
A mae hwnna yn mynd i fod yn brawf o gymeriad tîm Aberystwyth, Siôn?
Ydy, mae swydd anodd gyda Cobisiero, Gary Lewis, Stuart Jones, fel y tîm reoli. Ydyn nhw'n mynd i newid rhywbeth? Ydyn nhw'n mynd i newid siap y tîm, falle rhoi 2 lan top? Dyna lle maen nhw'n ennill yr arian mawr.
Wel, byddai'n ddiddorol i glywed beth sydd gan Cobisiero i weid wrth i chwaraewyr yn ystafell newid nawr, ond beth am i ni glywed gan y dyn ei hun, achos fe oedd Sgorio i gyrra fe a'i tîm hyfforddi a gaethon nhw dipyn o hwyl.
Antonio Cobisiero. Barry Morgan. Gary Lewis.
Stuart Jones.
Such a rubbish name. It's something that I think I've always looked at is that, if I ever got the job, the people I wanted to bring around, obviously, Gary is obviously going to be there because he's a tremendous motivator, someone that loves and breathes football. So, privileged for him to come on board.
Mae'r cryfderau wahanol efo'r 4 o ni, ond mae fe'n dod gyd at ei gilydd a mae fe'n gweithio'n really, really nice.
With Stu, obviously, like you say, we've been together everywhere. We've been Swansea, Clethley, and then he moved here, and then I followed him here.
He follows me everywhere. Can't shake him off. Fi a Cobs, athyn ni ennill y gyngradd ar y cwpan Cymru a... Did we win the League Cup hefyd?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so nice i wneud e. Ond fel dweud ti, ys na fo fi gallu shake fe off. Na, fi'n hapus pan nath Cobs gofyn i fi dod mewn a just wneud, dweud i ni weithio efo back four, maen nhw'n boys ifanc, felly maen nhw fel sponges chwarae teg i nhw a maen nhw moyn dysgu. So mae fe'n neis i fi dod mewn a gweithio gyda boys fel na, achos fi'n gwybod os bod rhywun yn trio coachio fi at 36, I'd be a nightmare to coach. So, yeah, it's nice to have boys ifanc I weithio gyda.
And with Barry, we worked together under Gav anyway together. Got great ideas in terms of coaching and, sessions to put on and things.
Ond nhw'n ni gyd, mae mae strength dyn ni gyd. Fi'n credu yn abys sy'n pwysig i ni fel tîm yma. Ni gyd yn helpu mewn ffordd ei hunain.
Me and Stu done our YTS together, and then fortunate to do we did a pro together. Barry wants to tell a story. Let him have his time now. Go on, man.
I know
we always get this one out, don't we?
Yeah.
In my first year pro, every professional had their YTS who looked after them, and
so you want to do this in English, so I understand it.
So Corbs was my boot boy. So at the time, that was nice. So Cooper's up.
He likes that with the camera, doesn't he?
That one comes out. So Corbs my boot boy. He's well looked after, weren't you?
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Christmas time, big tips.
And then I was going to say,
times have changed now.
It's the pros' job to tip the apprentices at Christmas then, and you normally think it'd be something decent, but Barry's reputation precedes him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You've gone to many, have you?
What's that?
Goals?
Yeah, just below you I am, just below. Just one or two behind.
Nath Corbs gofyn I fi just dod mewn I dechrau concentrate on back four, dweud o dde. Ond, yeah, you are right. I probably am the best finisher around the ball.
Doesn't take much.
Ar un o bryd ni yn lle dda. Mae results wedi dechrau dod. Mae perfformiad wedi bod yn dda. Fi'n meddwl, ni wedi perfformiad yn dda. Felly, gawn ni weld. Ni yn edrych lan, obvious. But it's not out of the question ni dweud bod the top six is out of reach for us this season.
I do hope that these boys are as ambitious as we are. We want that top six place, and it's down to them now. It's down to them how much they want it. We tell them each week, how much do you want to go out and win this game? How much do you want, to succeed in this game? Because there's plenty of opportunities for them to play at this club, and we'll take each game as it comes, and hopefully we'll be successful.
Y boes na'r amlwg yn cael lot o sport. A Sean, maen nhw'n grew I ti nabod yn dda iawn. Be ti wedi gwneud o'r job maen nhw wedi gwneud hyd yn hyn?
Wel, mae'n swydd anodd, ti'n modd. Fel ti'n gweud, fi'n nabod nhw dda, fi wedi cael y pleser o chwarae gyda nhw, a hefyd Gary a Corbs yn rheoli fi fel chwaraewr. Felly, dwi'n gwybod yn bersonol, fe wnawn nhw popeth gallen nhw wneud I cael y clwb yma fyny'r gyngred. So'n nabod unrhyw un sy'n gweithio mor galed a Gary Lewis a Anthony O'Combs I o'r enghraifft. Dyw'r gwaith ddim yn benni ar ôl gêm hyn, o mae fe'n rhywbeth sy'n digwydd yn ystod yr wythnos. So'n siŵr gwybod mae gwragedd nhw'n rhoi fyny gyda nhw.
A ni wedi gweld, ti wedi sôn am y gwaith caled, Aber yn anlwcus I bido Sgorio o fewn y 5 munud cynta. Matty Jones yn taro'r postyn fan hyn, Sean. Anlwcus I bido cael y gol?
Wel, beth sy'n ddiddorol yw, mae hwnna beti 2 funud ar ôl i'r Drenewydd cymeryd y gol na. A mae'n fine margins gyda Pêl-droed, os yw hwnna'n mynd mewn, mae'n gêm falle hollol wahanol. A eto, pan nath Drenewydd 2 gol I fyny, Jonathan Evans yn cael y cyfle da. Yn anffodus, mae'n methu, sa'n gwybod pam mae'n cymerid ar ei droed wyth I fi, dyna wedi cymerid ar droed dde, a rhoi'r pŵer trwy'r bêl, ond dyna'r gwanaeth rhwng ennill a colli gemau, cymerid y cyfleon.
I ni di jyst I fynd nôl at y tîm hyfforddi, Sean. I ti'n cael y teimlad bod yna brosiect fan hyn, maen nhw'n trial datblygu, a mae fe'n bwysig bod nhw'n cael amser I wneud ni?
Hollol. Gobeithio gewn nhw'r amser gyda'r cyfarwyddwyr y clwb, I roi fel ti'n gweud, rhyw fath o prosiect at ei gilydd. Mae dan o chwaraewyr ifenc, chwaraewyr lleol hefyd, a felly jyst adio o jigsaw na sy angen i'r tîm reoli wneud.
Yn bendant, a just i'ch atgoffa chi ein gêm fewn I pen wythnos nesa yw y seintiau newydd yn erbyn Pen-y-bont. Honna'n fyw ar S4C am 5 o'r gloch dydd Sadwrn nesa. Pen-y-bont yn ddigiro yn erbyn 3 llynedd, a I ni di wneud bach o musical chairs fan hyn, achos mae rheolwr Pen-y-bont, Rhys Griffiths, yn cadw cwmni I fi. Rhys, great to have your company. First of all, what were your thoughts on that first half?
It's disappointing for Aber. The goals, they're very open. and they didn't really learn the lessons from the first goal. They could have probably conceded 1 or 2 more, so that'll be disappointing from their perspective. I think looking at Aber going forward now, they've got Raul Correa behind you. I'd be looking to get him up front, possibly with Johnny Owen, 2 big guys. He thrives on indecisive defending, and with this wind, maybe Newtown will be letting a few balls bounce and he can sort of ruffle a few feathers.
Hopefully the wind stops just in time for your game tomorrow afternoon. Just talk to us a bit about Pen-y-Bont's season, Rhys. You had that brilliant win over Caernarfon last weekend. How important is it that you keep this momentum going into the Christmas period?
Yeah, it is important. It's important for every team. I think apart from TNS and Druids, everybody feels a bit vulnerable, I think. We need to win tomorrow to keep our momentum going and stick in with Newtown and also Flint.
It's no secret. You're an ambitious club. You're an ambitious guy. You said you finished 4th last season. You said you wanted higher than 4th this season. Are you happy with where you guys are at?
Never happy, but the players are doing really well. We're working really hard. We're not happy with the 3 defeats we've had, Newtown being one of them, but we're just working to improve all the time. And I think my theory is if I keep looking to push above, maybe I won't fall below.
We've done some homework. These are the fixtures that you guys have got before the split, Rhys. And there are so many games and the league is so tight. There could be a lot of chopping and changing in terms of positions. Can you handle the pressure?
Yeah, I can certainly handle the pressure. Looking at the fixtures, they don't look easy to me. And it starts with Kevin Druids tomorrow. And I look at that and I think that's a nightmare game for us because they're going to win eventually. And they've got nothing to lose, and everyone's expecting us to win tomorrow. We've got to turn up with a really honest performance, and if we treat it like we did Caernarfon away last week, then I'm sure we can come through with a really positive result. If we don't, we'll lose a game.
And next week you test yourselves against TNS. How much of a challenge is that? But you haven't lost to any of last season's top 3 clubs.
No, it's a massive test for TNS next week against us. It's the toughest place to go at the moment. Obviously Connors Quay in the last couple of years has been equally tough, but at the moment TNS are that little bit ahead of everyone else. But I relish that, and I know the players do too. They're the only team now we haven't beaten in the league, and maybe it's time.
Just a note quickly on Aberystwyth. Like Sean, you know the coaching staff really, really well. Like yourself, Corbs is a young manager. What have you made of the job he's doing?
He's doing a good job, and difficult now because I'm going to go against what's happened in the first half, but he's got his team really organised. They're a young group. They're working really hard for him, and he's a sponge. I'm on the phone to him all the time, and I know he's speaking to others. I know he spoke to Andy Morrison an awful lot, so he's picking up bits all the time. And Corb's the type of manager that a player will want to win for and share wins with, because everyone loves Corbs.
Everyone loves Corbs. That's really sweet. Rhys, I'll let you go. You're doing the English language commentary, so I'll let you go back to the very, very cold country. Thank you for your company.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
A just i'ch atgoffa chi, os i chi di dod yma i edrych am y sgôr rhwng y Flint a Caernarfon, wel mae'r gêm yna wedi cael I ohirio oherwydd safon y ca, ond fe fydd y gêm yna yn cael ei chwarae nos Fawrth nesa. A just i'ch atgoffa chi, fel arfer fe fydd sgorio holl eich apwyntiau'r penwythnos Los Lyn am hanner awr wedi 5 ac eto am hanner awr wedi 10 ar S4C. Wel, mae'n well I ni ymuno nôl ar tîmau sylwebu. Mike Davies sydd gyda Sean Meredith.
Yes, welcome back to Park Avenue. And those legs, there's a bit of pace in those legs. You've made it up in time, Rhys Griffiths.
Yeah, a little bit out of breath. There's a few more steps here than I was expecting, to be honest with you.
Well, the previous fixtures between these two teams promised goals, and well, Newtown certainly delivered in that first half. 2 for Rushton. It puts them in a commanding position. Well, you were saying it all through the first half. It's the next goal that really does throw this game into contention, doesn't it? If it goes to Newtown, game over, I suppose, and if it goes to Aberystwyth, it's game on. Yeah, certainly, but the only issue for Aber is because of the wind, they're probably going to struggle to dominate territory. So if they do get that goal, will they be able to sustain the pressure to really make Newtown start to panic? We'll have to wait and see for that. Aberystwyth certainly made a lot of those long throws and the long balls from the back towards either John Owen or when the 2 centre-backs were up. This time round it's Aaron Williams and Newtown's chance to use the wind. A long throw into the box. Ball hasn't quite been cleared. Newtown again, Rushton looking for that hat-trick. Hacked away. And back in. Mills Evans tries to help it on its way. Here's Rushton again. Good work from the forward. Here's Moandue. Creating a bit of space, and it's a whipped shot. It's low, but Zabret is relatively comfortable behind that one.
Yeah, the moment he picked up the ball then, Moandue, you always wanted to take the shot on.
It's Orford overlapping, looking to attack. He does try to feed Phillips. Taylor comes out. Brett Taylor.
Yeah, he picked it up and straight away he was trying to get inside, wasn't he? And just seconds before that, the ball wouldn't quite drop for Rushton. I thought he's very strong in contact, Rushton, and I thought it might just fall for him to get a turn, but he didn't quite manage it.
Horn with the header, Mills Evans. It's a simple job, but he does it very effectively.
I just wonder how long it'll be before Raul Correa comes on for Aber and a bit more of a physical presence up there to give Johnny Owen a hand.
John Owen tries to feed Jonathan Evans. Thorne from distance. Owen. Again, that ball bouncing and maybe the wind making things a little difficult.
The two holding midfielders for Newtown are unsung heroes for them, for me, Walker and Hughes. They pick up lots of bits and pieces, they keep it simple and they're very effective. Make it easier for these players that we are talking about a bit more often, perhaps.
Phillips brings down Moandue. Yeah, I suppose it's a bit of a luxury when you've got so many options ahead of you, but yeah, George Hughes and Jake Walker certainly been doing their job in the midfield for the visitors. Maybe can't quite say the same for the Aberystwyth midfield. Jamie Veal not named him that often. Darlington's been quite quiet, maybe.
Yeah, it's been difficult for him because Rushton's doing so well, and they're not winning the first ball. So if you don't win the first balls, the second balls become even more difficult to win.
Newtown again trying to take advantage of this wind. There's Williams, can't quite keep that in.
But they're an honest group, Aberystwyth. Antonio's brought in honest players and they'll keep fighting to the end. And like we said, if they can get the second, or their first, they've got a great chance of getting something out of the game.
Looks like Davis, who, well, he's a versatile player. He's played at fullback mostly this year. In previous seasons, he has popped up in wide positions and even up front at times.
I wonder whether that means that Matthew Jones will push into midfield, or does it mean they're going to three at the back?
There's that midfield again. George Hughes that time battling away, and here's Moandue trying to release Roberts. And the winger has another chance. Trying to create a bit of space. Doesn't need much. But he needed a bit more than that. And Aberystwyth can breathe a sigh of relief. Yep, certainly movement on the Aberystwyth bench. And it looks like Davis, who is stripped down and ready to come on. He is primarily a fullback by now. And as Rhys Griffiths has just said, Matty Jones, who is in that position at the moment, he's very capable of playing more as a winger. He's got a good cross. He can hit the ball from distance. But they're going to have to deal with another Newtown attack. Bradford throws one forward. Dave Jones has come all the way out. It's a bit of a mistake, maybe, because Phillips has stolen the goal back. It's Dave Jones, the goalkeeper, who came rushing out. And I wonder whether the wind played a role again, but certainly made a hash of that clearance. And it's Phillips to take advantage, and Aberystwyth back.
Well, Jones just held his hand up to accept the responsibility, I presume, but again, I think that the wind's held the ball up and it's just caused him to misjudge it, and then obviously he didn't manage to get anything on it really, and it's a cool finish, good finish from Phillips.
It wasn't an easy shot. It's technically an open goal, but there was Well, there was Mills-Evans in front of him, some distance, and that win to contend with. It was a cool finish from Phillips. It's his second of the season. And Aberystwyth, well, they've got that golden goal. And it's another mistake at the back at the other end this time. Rushton to Davis in the middle, and Williams can't quite get out of the blocks. Mwandwe tries to rescue something. Roberts. Newtown still coming. Roberts the full-back again. Mwandwe trying to create some space. Cross in over everyone's head, but well, almost the same thing at the other end.
Yeah, well, that would have been disaster for Aberystwyth. Obviously, when you're on the pitch side like Antonio is and like Chris Hughes is, you understand the game and what's going on and the temperature of the game, and obviously you know your own players. But again, for me, if I was Aberystwyth, I'd be just saying calm down, consolidate, do not concede a third, and take all the momentum out of the game that we've just built.
Zabret to restart, and maybe this is a chance for a bit of a breather. Spark of excitement. There's going to be a change. It is Rhys Davis. Not quite yet. Dave Jones, who will hear the Aberystwyth fans on his back now for the rest of the game, I imagine. Jones back to cover, and it could be a chance for this tactical change.
Let's have a look and just see exactly what they do here.
Starlington, I think, who's coming off. And it is Davis coming up. Looks like he's running to that full-back position. Here is the substitute. Down the line. Rushton with the flick. Orford back up the pitch. Mills-Evans rather loosely down the park, and Orford tries to release Veal, a wide right. He's got some options in the middle. John Owen is one of them. Evans is one of them as well. Roberts clears. Well, there's a bit of steam in the sail, and Aberystwyth are back in this, definitely.
Yeah, solid defending from Callum Roberts to clear the ball, but as we said, Matthew Jones got into midfield. Now all of a sudden, you know, clearances seem a bit panicked from Newtown, as we saw from Aber first half. Certainly game on.
Looking for a ball at the moment. It could be a chance for a breather. Dave Jones, well, he'll certainly have those fans on his back now for the rest of the game. Mistake, maybe misjudged, maybe the wind. It's cost his team that breathing space. It's just the one goal now.
Would have been very tempting for Phillips to try and put his foot through that or chip it, but he hit the target.
Mills-Evans out of defence. Jenkins with the header. John Owen, physical presence, making himself felt. Dave Jones is out again. Nailed that one. And it's not a bad ball either. That wind is difficult to deal with, and Jenkins has to sweep that away at the last moment. It just felt like the Newtown players couldn't quite believe that was still running. Williams again into the box. Mwandwe controls. He's got a couple of options in the middle, and Williams to his right. Roberts is back now as well. Hughes. Taylor ventures out of defence and keeps going. And he still fancies his chances.
Both goalkeepers there put in the same position as they were a few minutes before. Dave Jones dealt very well with his. I did think, will he do the same thing again? And then at the other end, the keeper probably thinking about what had happened a few minutes before, very reluctant to come off his line.
And again, Aberystwyth can't quite clear that ball, and Newtown can't quite capitalise on it. It's a good ball forward again. It's Phillips once more trying to use that pace, and it's Mills-Evans across. Both sides now looking dangerous and fragile in attack and defence, respectively.
Something tells me there's going to be another goal in this game at some point.
A couple of years ago, they shared an 8-goal thriller, 5-3 end of the season. It was a real belter here. Of course, as a neutral, hope for more of that. Thorne does well. Steals the ball back. Too many yellow shirts ahead of him, and the defence do their job. There is Jack Thorne, just 20 years old, captain of Aberystwyth, spent some time at Newtown. He's in his second year here at Park Avenue, already a bit of a fan favourite, and really hard to believe that he's only 20 years old.
Yeah, he's a 100%er, isn't he? And I know that Antonio thinks a lot of his character as well, which is key.
There is a foul, and I think Rhys Griffiths, you called it earlier. Correa, the striker on the bench, one of the strikers on the bench, looks to be stripping. So another attacking move from Corbisiero.
I wonder whether it'll be Johnny Evans.
Bradford going down, and Aaron Williams not quite happy with that. Well, bang on Rhys Griffiths. It is Johnny Evans off, and it's Raul Correa on, who is, well, he's the man he came from Bala. He's impressed everyone with his work rate, his strength, his endeavour. Hasn't quite hit the target yet, just the one goal in the cup, no goals in the league yet. There's another long ball over the top of everybody. Here's Mwandwe, stolen from under his nose.
Yeah, I think Raul is the type, this is game's made for him really, the type of player that if the defences are indecisive and they're letting things bounce and the wind is affecting their judgment, he'll get in and around the ball, and he's so strong. I wonder whether Mwandwe could have pulled the trigger there with his left.
Another attack for Newtown. It's a long throw. Those two big centre-halves are up there as well. Here's another long ball. It's difficult. Oh, I imagine the wind has taken that as well. But Zabret, well, did his job, I suppose. It didn't look too comfortable, though. Roberts clears the other end. Correa denied that first opportunity of his.
I think this is the type of game where both managers are going to age.
Oof. You can almost hear that whistling in the wind as it drops.
Who'd be a keeper, eh?
And Zabret, bear in mind, has been one of the standout players for Aberystwyth and one of the standout goalkeepers in the league. A tremendous shot stopper, but that's what a bit of wind can do to anyone.
I was speaking to Antonio before the game about our keepers, and Ashley Morris, Reece Wilson, great shot stoppers, and he was saying how good a shot stopper he is as well.
He's a bit of a star with the Swansea Academy. Didn't quite break through into the team. Here's Mwandwe. He's got some support in Roberts and falls a bit too heavy. Can't blame the wind for that one.
No, and Callum Roberts has run a long way, which is Callum Roberts is up and down all game, to be fair to him, but he won't have appreciated that one.
Roberts did net for Newtown against Aberystwyth in the fixture earlier in the season. The fixture that Aberystwyth themselves won, 2-1. Back in September. Jamie Veal and Johnny Evans, the goal scorers for Aberystwyth. Zabret will try his luck against the wind again. There's Correa, first touch for the substitute. Tries to feed John Owen. Here is Owen. He's got some support. Veal behind. Thorne in the middle. Spreads it across for Davis, the sub. A shot from distance, speculative, I think is the word.
Yeah, it's good play from Aberystwyth. Lovely ball from Thorne. Obviously, he had checked his shoulder and knew there was a man out there and played it blind. But it looks to me as if Johnny Owen and Raul are swapping one going wide, one going central. Perhaps they're playing too centrally at times and with one winger. I'm not really sure.
Jones to restart. That wind, well, James Davis chancing his arm. Just wondering whether the wind was going to take that away from the defence. Didn't this time, but he'll be awake and aware of those opportunities for the rest of the half. Matty Jones issuing orders. The centre-backs have moved up to join that front line. Louis Bradford, he is the target, there he is. Bradford looks for options. Thorne's not come for this, so it's not going to be one of those long ones. Orford, the substitute, into the middle. It's an awkward one for the Newtown defence. George Hughes. Roberts. Intercepted by Jones. Here's Correa. And it's an Aberystwyth throw-in and a chance to continue the attack. There's the quick one towards Correa. Evans. Well, it's cut out. John Owen was rushing to the middle. Phillips was there as well.
Quick thinking from Orford, the full-back, and it was a really good ball across, I thought, from Raoul, and needed someone arriving.
Evans, the man who left the pitch a few minutes ago for Correa to come on. Newtown maybe taking a bit of an opportunity to rearrange themselves at the back, maybe to start trying to get to grips with this attacking pairing. As you were saying earlier, things changed last week at the break. Corbisiero and his team must have done something again this half. They've come out Aberystwyth probably looking the better side so far.
Yeah, certainly say so. I think they're picking up more second balls, and the ones they don't win, they're looking and getting close to them.
It's another awkward one for Zabret. There's Mwandue again causing problems down the left.
Just needs to steady himself a little bit on that left foot.
He's one of the league's standout players so far this season. Mwandue, 7 assists, 4 goals as well. There's the long ball towards Phillips. John Owen. Phillips again, the goal scorer. A cool finish after Dave Jones, the goalkeeper's mistake. Veal. Aloft to on high. Jones keeps the ball moving forward. It's a flick from Rushton. Jenkins has to cover.
There's 3 or 4 second balls in a row there, won by Aber. It makes such a difference to the momentum of your game.
There's a foul for Aberystwyth, and maybe another chance to throw one of those balls up. Veal in the middle.
Just got there first, didn't he? Just a little touch, not much in it.
There is Veal taking the free kick as well. Dave Jones has come out and he's claimed that.
Yeah, he's got quality, Veal, so he'll be disappointed with that.
Jones tries to release Mwandue on the left. Again, that wind probably taking it ahead of the winger. No changes on the Newtown bench, no movement either. So it looks like Chris Hughes is happy to keep things as they are, undoubtedly sure that his front four is still going to pose a threat. There's Jones throwing one forward towards John Owen. And it's a foul.
I don't agree with that one. I thought it was just good strength from Johnny Owen got his shoulder in. I would have thought Chris Hughes will fancy their chances of getting a third as much as they will be worried about Aber getting a second.
He's spoilt for choice on that bench as well. It's a strong squad this year.
Maybe a little nudge.
He does have Jamie Breeze on the bench and a few more. As Aberystwyth try and clear the ball, they can't quite do it, and it's Williams who turns. Davies, Rushton for the hat-trick! Well, it took 3 chances for Newtown, but it's Rushton for his third, who buries it and possibly buries Aberystwyth. Again, maybe some question marks on the defence. There's Williams, who somehow squeezes a shot off first of all.
Well, they need to get onto that second ball before Williams has chased his own flick on there and got to it, and it was a really good strike from Williams, to be fair, and Rushton there to tap it in, the easiest one of the night for him. But as this ball comes in, they don't win the first one, but it's a little bit of fortune, I suppose, but you need to pick up those second balls. Good first save. Nothing anyone can do about the tap-in.
All that hard work in this second half for Aberystwyth, possibly thrown away there in just a few seconds. Rushton celebrates a hat-trick. He has been fantastic this evening. He won't rest there either. Here he comes again. There's Mwanduwe. Maybe a chance to stretch those legs and stretch the defence with the pace. He's cut inside. Owen wrestling away with Mills-Evans. Thorne to Davis. There's a clash. And it's a foul on the Aberystwyth sub. And he's not particularly happy with Newtown players' conduct, James Davis.
Yeah, it was a type of tackle which he got the ball. And you know, certainly 15 years ago wouldn't have even been a foul, but perhaps he was a little bit out of control by today's rules.
Jake Walker, apologies, not James Davis. Jones to throw one into the box. Veal can't quite bring that ball down, can't quite control it. Davis spreads it. Thorne, the only man in his own half. Jones. Again, Thorne comes to collect. It's Veal this time. It's very tight on that left wing. A lot of defenders, but Correa has done very well to bring that ball through. It's thread back to him. There are shouts for a penalty. Correa is still down. There was certainly some contact somewhere. Not sure whether there was enough on the striker.
I wasn't sure if it was a pen. It was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? It seemed innocuous, but he seems quite hurt, so maybe he was trodden on at the end or something. But
he's done well to get that ball and bring it back.
To be honest, I think he's twisted his own ankle there. He's just lost his foot in, and it looked to me, yeah, he's twisted his ankle. I don't think there was any contact at all, so a very sore one. That might be the end of his night. They looked quite sore, that did.
He does look in pain, and it might mean some excitement for the Sgorio team. Callum Allen is on the bench, not yet made an appearance for Aberystwyth. Nephew of Malcolm Allen and the son of Gavin Allen, the former manager, of course. He's been firing them in for the youth team. He's not been tried at this level yet. It could be his night.
Yeah, they're horrible.
It does look painful, and he has made a difference since coming on, hasn't he?
Yeah, I just think the physical presence up there and creating a bit of uncertainty, in the Newtown defence. But I'd be very surprised if he carries on now. And if it is Gavin's son that comes on, it'd be a nice moment for Gavin. He's here somewhere. I've seen him tonight, looking very dapper. It'd be a proud moment for him.
Well, there's Antonio Corbisiero, the The Aberystwyth manager, Gary Lloyd, behind him. It's a tight team of, well, there's about 4 of them out there. There's Stuart Jones as well and Barry Morgan. But he's the main man, and he is concerned for his striker at the moment, who is on his feet but pretty gingerly hobbling off by the looks of it.
I suppose they'll want to give him every opportunity to see if he can shake this off.
I can't see anybody warming up, although that could be my eyes. Well, Correa will certainly come on for a while and probably look to try and stay on. And it's a ball that slips past everybody, and once again it's Mouandoué who tries to pick that loose ball up on the left. Hacked away for the time being. Rushton. Thorne moves it ahead. Phillips. And flicked. And then a ball through, and it's John Owen. Rushton, the hat-trick hero, is back to cover.
Yeah, it's good experience from him then. He read the danger and did, defensive duties as well.
There's Thorne. Throws one up. More hopeful than accurate. Here is Veal. Twisting, turning, looking for options, nothing on. And the possession lost, and maybe that momentum that Aberystwyth built up in the first 20 minutes or so of the second half is slipping away from them now.
Yeah, just a little bit of composure. I think Thorne just went forward when he had, I think it was Bradford free next to him, with acres of room to run into, and then obviously Matthew Jones there playing a speculative pass. I think just get their foot on the ball and probably look to get Jamie Veal in the game a bit more and see if they can dominate some possession.
Well, strapped up and back on, Raul Correa. And he's looking a bit... He does look hurt. He does look to be hobbling a bit.
Yeah, it might be one of those that he'll get through today, but he's going to be injured after tonight. We had a similar thing with Sam Snaith earlier on in the season in the Welsh Cup, where he rolled his ankle, finished the game, and then after that woke up very sore.
Hughes in the middle for Newtown. Can't quite find Rushton. Correa is back. Ball finds Phillips. Bradford. It's not gone where he wanted it. And Mouandoué will try and make the most of it. He's created some space for himself. And it's a good back heel. It's a dangerous ball into the box. Well, it's another chance for Roberts into the box. Zabret is high and collects that safely. Again, the Aberystwyth defence not quite being able to get rid of that ball quickly enough.
Yeah, Orford should have cleared that there and just been safe. Put his left foot through it. And then Callum probably be a little bit disappointed there that he didn't produce a bit more quality.
Here's Callum Roberts. Former Connacht key man. Hurls one down the line. Mouandoué again. Aberystwyth, well, they have a chance to bring the ball out and maybe regain a bit of their composure. Here is Bradford looking to throw a ball wide left. Correa can't get to it. Williams is happy to launch that down to Aaron Williams. Got a bit of support. James Davis in the box. Rushton just behind him. Williams is a big, strong man. He'll keep that.
Good centre-forward play there. Just being solid, being reliable, keeping his team in the third.
11 goals this year. He's been the main man for Newtown up front.
And Rushton can't be far behind him after tonight.
Well, yeah. Rushton has jumped from 5 to 8 goals for the season. Another dangerous ball. Oh, and it's another goal. It's Davis this time. No one saw the little winger pop up, and he slipped that back past the Aberystwyth defence and the goalkeeper. Zabret looks at his defence in despair. But Newtown are in complete control here at Park Avenue.
Yeah, and you can't see any way back now for Aber. It's he's just brighter, isn't he? He's on his toes. So it's obviously a long throw in. Probably could have done better with the first ball, and James Davis is on the run and he's bright, and Rhys Davis caught on his heels a little bit. It was an excellent finish.
James Davis, that's his third of the season. He has been, well, he's been a spark all night. Yeah. He was crucial in the first 2 goals.
He deserves a goal, doesn't he?
Another ball over the top. Jenkins is back. He's going to have to deal with this. And he's done so by winning a free kick. But yeah, James Davis has been a constant threat. Possibly a little unlucky, maybe a different decision, and he could have created a couple more goals as well in that first half.
Imperative now that Aber don't fall apart completely and concede another, say, 1 or 2 goals. And
Rushton again comes from deep to collect. Here's Moandoe up against Orford. He does his job this time, but it's very uncharacteristic of Aberystwyth this year. They've been particularly solid at the back, and the games they have lost have tended to be by 1 or 2 goals. A 3-goal defeat to TNS, but they won't be the first team. And of course, as Rhys Griffiths is happy to point out, Pêl-droed beat them by 2. A long throw into the box. It's George Hughes with the header. Zabret with a flick. With a long throw, sorry, it's Correa to Phillips. And Aberystwyth can't seem to get hold of the ball now. It's another long ball. There's a late challenge, I think.
Yeah, it's Phillips, I think. I don't think there's any malice in it, but enough certainly for a free kick, I would have thought. It's just important now that Aber just keep it a little bit solid and just don't fall apart and concede a couple more goals. And if they can nick 1 more, you never know, but certainly they don't want this to look like a 5 or 6-1.
Craig Williams ready to throw this into the box. Taylor is up there, centre back. So is Mills Evans. Well, as Aberystwyth throw another hopeful ball forward. Newtown keep that momentum at the top of the table, though. It's you know, Chris Hughes is always eager to play down his chances, always eager to play down his team, but they are in 3rd position. There are shouts for a foul, and there is a head injury. They are in 3rd position, and they're looking very strong and looking as if they'll kick on. And well, the question is, can anybody, and can Newtown start challenging up for those top 2 positions?
Well, certainly Newtown are in the race for 2nd. You know, I think everybody's looking at the table at the moment and think TNS are going to be particularly difficult to catch, especially when the split happens and the top 6 teams are so evenly matched and so competitive that it's very difficult to go on a run of 4, 5, 6 wins, which is what it would take to catch TNS. And then, of course, you're asking TNS to start dropping points. But
there is the top 6.
So I would imagine that, you know, TNS's lead is unassailable, really. But you know, Newtown now moving to 2nd. Obviously, Flint's game called off tonight, and they are looking strong, and they're in the hunt for 2nd. And Chris will be certainly thinking to himself that they are contenders for that, despite what he might say.
A win tomorrow, and Pêl-droed only 2 points behind that 2nd position as well.
Yeah, just pushing hard, working really hard every game, and just trying to stay in the mix. And then when it gets into that top 6, if we can be in it, then, like I said, it's hard for any team. You can win or lose every game.
At the start of the evening, Aberystwyth, even though they're down in 10th place, they were only a win away from closing in on the top 6. It's that tight, but this will dent their hopes as Newtown prepare to make a few changes.
The ominous thing for the teams in the top 6 and those trying to get into the top 6 are that Bala and Connors Key aren't at the top of the table, and it, you know, sort of history would suggest that it's a matter of time before they start pushing forward and challenging for second themselves, so it makes it even more difficult to get into the top 6.
And this is where we see the strength of that bench, isn't it? Ryan Edwards coming on, former Aberystwyth man, very talented midfielder. Henry Cowans is on as well. And there's the hat-trick hero, Nick Rushton, leaving the pitch. Well, that's a job well done for him, isn't it?
Yeah, he's done well tonight. He was a constant problem in the way that Aber probably would have hoped Franklin would be if he was available. And he took his goals very well, especially the second one.
Roberts down the left. Evans has come on as well. Here is Ryan Edwards. Spent a few years here at Park Avenue in a green shirt. It's his 7th Welsh Premier League club, Cymru Premier League club. Ryan Edwards. He spent time at TNS. He spent time at Connors Key. He's a technically very gifted midfielder. Hasn't quite found a home yet, although he is trying to settle in at Newtown, hampered a bit by injury this year though. Well, this doesn't look good either. There's another injury. It's Jamie Veal who's down, looking hurt. And this will be a blow for Aberystwyth as well.
Well, again, very innocuous. No one anywhere near him, but you could just see he lost his footing and maybe his ankle, or difficult to say. But at 4-1, is it worth risking him with probably 10 minutes in total left?
There is Corbisiero, just as things couldn't get any worse. 4 goals to 1 behind. There's a fitness question mark over his striker, Al Correa, now heavily strapped. And now his midfielder, Jamie Veal. There he is.
I have to give Raul Correa credit for carrying on after that. I thought that it did look a painful one, and he's certainly going to be feeling that for the next few days. But he's battling on.
Still no real movement on the Aberystwyth bench, so it looks like Jamie Veal will continue. Rimmer went off in the first half as well. Physio room's going to be quite busy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a night to forget for Corbisiero. He'll be bitterly disappointed with the way it's gone, both in terms of the result and what looks like it's going to be the result, and also the injuries as well.
There's Evans, the sub. Back to Edwards, the other sub. Davis. Back to Hughes. Brett Taylor. And the centre-back, he's taken Shane Sutton's spot there next to Mills Evans. That's no mean feat.
I think as well, you can, you know, we're 85 minutes into the game, and Antonio Corbisiero, I can hear him from, what are we now, 70 yards away, still urging his team on, screaming, kicking every ball, doing a, you know, really fighting for his club.
Good service here at Park Avenue. As Newtown tried to work down the left. Very much the feeling of the result And the 3 points settled. Just a case of waiting for these last few minutes to tick away. And Newtown can be on their merry way back. Edwards to whip one into the middle. Correa can't quite hold the ball. Jones gives away possession, and Newtown come again. Good work from Jones. Veal is in the middle. Back to Bradford.
Correa looks really uncomfortable now, actually. Just watching him there, he's got to ask a question: is it worth carrying on if the game's over, which it seems to be, and you are struggling?
There's Davis. Another chance for the fullback to throw a ball into the box. Almost dangerous, but not quite. If he does come off, he just comes off, and Aberystwyth go down to 10 men. They've used one sub on the left back, one on the right back, and one on bringing Correa on himself. But as you say, it's a case of limiting the damage, I assume.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
He has played a dozen times for Aberystwyth this year. He is part of that first team. He is an important player for them. And for a team who do struggle to score, losing a striker can't be a good thing.
No, he's moved more central now, which I presume is to stop him having to track full-backs.
There's Jones in the middle. Bradford will let one loose down the park. It's good work from Phillips. He's stolen the ball. He's whipped this to the middle. John Owen was arriving, and Correa couldn't quite get there. That ankle, I assume, just can't move quick enough.
Yeah, it's a good attempt to get the ball across there by Phillips. He was strong. I think Callum Roberts tried to get his arm across and ended up falling over, and it was a good ball across, just cut out by Mills Evans.
Another chance for Aberystwyth. Jones into the middle. It's a good header, and it's in. It's Jenkins who celebrates. It's Davis. And the other redhead at the back. The young man rose high. Wasn't particularly pressured. It's probably a consolation goal, but Aberystwyth will take it.
Seems that way. Good ball in. There's a free header, really, and you could see how much it meant to him to get the goal.
Jenkins just behind him, and Davis just popped up ahead of everybody, including and particularly the Newtown defence. But here come Newtown again. It's a good ball into the Aberystwyth box. It's Davis. Can't quite get that shot away. Here's Evans. Edwards from distance. He'll have a goal against his former club. Only netted once for Aberystwyth in his time here.
Well, he's not the biggest in the world either, to be fair. Rhys Davis. But yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. Ryan Edwards, he's technically a good player. Should have got that on target, really.
John Owen. Flag is up, and there's the top of the table corrected now. Flint, by a goal, is still in second place.
Yeah, that goal makes all the difference to how you feel when you look at the table for Chris Hughes.
They've got a game in hand, of course. They were supposed to play tonight. That match has been called off for tonight. That pitch wasn't quite in a good enough state to play. So they'll have that game in hand as well. And Flint have, well, for many people, have been the surprise package this year. They've looked very strong, although they did strengthen a lot over the summer.
Yeah, I think any team that signed last year's Player of the Year, Mike Wilde, is always going to have a good season, you would have thought. And they are doing really well at the moment. It would have been a good, interesting game tonight against Carnarvon, because Carnarvon was strong against us last week.
Bradford, referee's assistant, is busy again. as we enter the second of the 4 minutes to be added at the end of this second half. Aberystwyth, just like their manager, they're still going, they're not staying, they're not giving up, are they?
No, they're working really hard, and Phillips read that really well then, actually, and went on the blind side of the defender, but unfortunately the ricochet didn't go for him, and you could see his frustration after it. It's been a frustrating night for Aberystwyth.
Newtown trying to work the line. Bradford clears. Hughes. There's Ryan Edwards. Jenkins. There is Nick Rushton, the hat-trick hero. Not a difficult choice as man of the match this evening. 3 goals tonight, 8 for the season. He's got a fair few assists as well this year.
He's a good player. Speaking to Andy Morrison, obviously Adam McConaughey's key, speaks highly of him as a player. Clever player.
Started his time at Wrexham. He's had a few clubs, but he seems to keep returning to Newtown. He does play very well for the Robins.
You can play a few different positions as well. You can play him up front, you can play him as a 10 as he is tonight, even play him wide. For a manager, especially part-time, it's handy to have versatile players who can help you out if perhaps you've got injuries and move them around a little bit.
His brother's a goalkeeper, so no doubt helped him growing up, taking shots. Certainly paid off this evening as Newtown once again come forward with just a few minutes left. Correa sandwiched between 2 defenders and falls heavily on that bandaged ankle of his. Aberystwyth come again. Roberts. Davis still chasing, still awake, still looking to take advantage of any loose ball. Bradford clears. There's Hughes. Jenkins can't quite clear the ball. Evans waiting. Well, it's an excellent performance by Newtown, and they've really shown what they can do away from home. They've shown how dangerous they can be on the attack against a very good defence.
Yeah, credit to Chris Hughes, who's come here today with a good game plan. He's picked a winning team, and they have deserved to win the game.
Well, that is the final whistle. It is a job very well done for the visitors. What's sometimes called the Mid-Wales Derby ends. Aberystwyth 1, Newtown 4. Many thanks to Rhys Griffiths. Good luck tomorrow against Kevin Druids.
Thank you.
And many thanks also to yourselves, of course, for joining us here at Park Avenue. And there's plenty more Cymru Premier football on Sgorio in the coming days and weeks. There's the man, the hat-trick hero, Nick Rushton, off to collect his ball. And thank you very much, and good night.
Wel, dyna ni Aberystwyth 2 y Drenewydd 4 am ganlyniad I dîm Chris Hughes. A jyst I gadarnhau unwaith eto bod gêm y Flint yn erbyn Caernarfon wedi I gohirio, a mae'r Drenewydd erbyn nawr wedi codi uwch ben Flint ar wahaniaeth goliau na ymddeheiriadau, y gol hwyr yna I Aberystwyth yn golygu bod y Flint yn parhau yn yr ail safle. Y Drenewydd yn drydydd, a mae'n braf iawn cael cwmni very great to have Nick Russian's company with me. Nick, congratulations, a hat-trick for yourself. It was pretty much job done for you guys this evening.
Yeah, we made hard work of it towards the end, trying conceding early on in the second half, but we've seen out, got the third goal, and then we've seen out pretty well, I feel.
I think tonight pretty much just summed up, we've all said it all season, just how dangerous Newtown are on the attack, and that was pretty much the perfect display.
Yeah, well, it works perfect for me, for me anyway. We've got Thumper and James down the left and right. The pace they've got is unbelievable, and we know we're going to create chances and score goals, so it's perfect for me to play in the middle.
Talk to us a bit, about the team. Do you think this is the best chance that you've got, to finish potentially in that second place? How high is the confidence right now?
Oh, we're flying. Like we had the Europe last year, and we've had a good training, good pre-season, and we've worked on it. And the players he's brought in has worked well with the team, and I feel like this is our best chance, probably in a long time, that we're going to have to push for top 3. That's the aim now. I feel like it should be our aim to push for top 3. I feel like top 6 we can cement that early doors and push on from here.
And just a note on Aberystwyth. Start the second half, they really gave a good go. Were you expecting them to come out sort of all cylinders firing?
Yeah. Well, it's to be expected, isn't it, for them to come and press us early on. We had to weather a bit of a storm. Conceded a goal and made it a bit hard for ourselves, but we settled the game down, and we got that third goal, and then we sealed it from there.
And that tasty game against Flint coming up, Nick. I'll go and let you warm up. Thank you very much for your company.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations. A just i'ch atgoffa ti taw y gêm fyw ar Sgorio dydd Sadwrn nesa yw y Seintiau Newydd yn erbyn Pen-y-bont am 5 o'r gloch ar Esbrorec nos Sadwrn yna. Pen-y-bont yn ddigiro yn erbyn 3 ucha llynedd, a mae'n braf gweud bod rheolwr Aberystwyth Antonio Corbisiero yn cadw cwmni i fi. Antonio, commiserations on the loss. Can you put your finger on exactly what went wrong this evening?
Yeah, we were shocking. We were shocking. Again, I spoke about the Connors Key game, the first 45 minutes. Again, we started sloppy. We did things that we don't normally do. And, you find yourself 2-0 down at half-time. We had a slight reaction then in the second half. And then again, we give away another 2 poor goals again. And you can't do it at this level. We need to take a good look at ourselves, because that's not good enough by any standard.
Psychologically, Antonio, how much of a blow is this, especially considering November was a really positive month for you guys, and it felt like you were starting to find your feet?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the feeling around the dressing room and around the ground. But we're going to have a look at ourselves now, thinking that we haven't achieved nothing. 3 good results doesn't mean anything in this league. You find yourself 2 bad losses now, and you're back in the mix down in that bottom 2. So yeah, I'm extremely disappointed tonight, and we're going to have to do some tough work next week.
I don't want to be too negative, of course, but you've picked up a couple of injuries this evening as well, and going into this really busy December period, how much of a blow will that be?
Yeah, it's like you say, Raoul's picked up one, Veely's got one. I think Veely's got 5 yellows now, so he's suspended anyway for the Carnarvon game. Franklin was suspended for today, so it's tough, but we're not the only club going through it. So we've got a good squad in depth, and them boys are now going to have to roll their sleeves up and come good for us.
I have to ask, are you looking up or are you looking down, Antonio?
You can't look down. There's no point. We'll analyse this game, but I don't think there's too much to analyse really. In terms of that, we defended poorly. We didn't create enough. And to be fair to Newtown, I think they were on the first ball every time. 2 centre-halves, they want everything going forward, so they're on the front foot, and they're always putting us backwards. And the keeper strikes it a mile, and he's put it into good areas, and they've gambled, and they've done their job. They've got their 3 points.
Antonio, thanks for your company. Appreciate your honesty.
No problem, anytime.
Diolch yn fawr. A diolch I chi am wylio. Dyna ni Drenewydd yn mynd ar triphwynt fan hyn ar goedlan y parc Abertawe. Wel, mis positif nôl mis Tachwedd Aberystwyth ymddeheiriadau. Bod nhw wedi cael mis hynod o positif na mis diwetha, pethau ddim cweit wedi mynd yn I lle nhw. Heno, diolch yn fawr am wylio. Byddwn ni nôl dydd Sadwrn.